The children are the future, help them read, learn, grow. Only reading is the key, so help them read, learn, grow. Let's show them how much fun it is to read, learn, grow. So parents, you play a part. First and foremost, reading from so young is advantageous. Link with the teachers, working hand in hand is a must. Just 10 minutes of your child reading to you is a plus. Get fun books, make reading priority. When children read, they are able to learn, and the more they learn, the more they grow. So parents help the kids read, learn, grow. Reading is fun, kids have to know. Read, learn, grow. The children are the future, help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play a part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to www.oecs.org/ELP.
Thinking of winning the lotto jackpot? Well, there is an easy way. Combo Play. Choose 4 numbers from 1 to 36. That's a combo 4 at a cost of $64. Match any 4 of the 5 numbers and win the lotto jackpot. There's Combo 6, where you purchase 6 numbers for only $12. Match any 5 of the 6 lotto numbers and hit the jackpot. How about Combo 7? That's a purchase of 7 lotto numbers for $42. Match any 5 of the 7 numbers and you will win the jackpot. There are also Combo 3, Combo 8, and Combo 9 lotto plays. Visit the NLA headquarters in Pauls Avenue or WhatsApp 495-6886 for more details. Lotto, you have to be in it to win it.
Roundtable Talk. This evening we are talking education. Once again, we've had quite a few of those talks in the last several months, but well deserved and well needed. This evening we are going to be speaking with the head of the Open Campus, Deborah Dalrymple. We also have the marketing assistant in Ronnie Daniel, and we have a PhD student in the person of Sharia Oliver Stewart. So all 3 of them will be talking today about the open campus of the University of the West Indies. And just to remind our viewers that you can contribute to the talk by sending your questions, your comments, what have you, to our Facebook or YouTube pages. And our panelists will be quite happy to respond to them accordingly. First of all, I want to start, Deborah, by asking about the genesis or the evolution, if you will, of the open campus. I know in my day we had extramural, and then we had School of Continuing Studies. Now we are at open campus. Let's talk a little bit about the evolution of the open campus.
Thank you very much, Teresa, and good night to our viewers. I'd be happy to talk about the evolution of the open campus. The open campus came into being in 2008, but as you rightly said, prior to that there was the extramural classes, we had the School of Continuing Studies, UEDEC, and so on. But in 2008, the university decided that they would form a 4th campus, which is called the Open Campus. And the idea behind the Open Campus was to offer an opportunity for tertiary education to those areas which were considered to be underserved. So for example, if you want to do a degree, normally you would have gone to one of the landed campuses, or worse yet, I should say, to another university altogether. The Open Campus offers you the opportunity to do whether it's a certificate, diploma, or a degree at the Open Campus, at home, continuing your job, being with your family, and so on. Now, the Open Campus also includes the WAND, which is the Women in Development Unit, the research arm, and also the all of those other departments which do not naturally fall under a landed campus. So it's sort of a coming together of several departments of the University of the West Indies. But most important for us is that we're able to offer those courses, the academic arm of the Open Campus, that we can offer opportunities for education, tertiary education, while you're at home, within your own territories, within your own homes.
Okay, how has the population responded to the development of the Open Campus so far?
How has the community responded, you said? I'm sorry, I didn't
Yes.
hear. Yes, well,
Yes.
we can tell you that certainly in 2010, we had about 264 or so students, and now we have over 700 students. So I guess that speaks its own story. I think we have put a lot of emphasis into explaining to the public that whereas you can come to the Open Campus for your degree, that at the Open Campus we are far more than simply the walls within you come to get your degree. We have been very involved in community development, outreach into the community, and I think that has helped people to see us as a place that they want to be associated with. So the response has been, we have grown from year to year, both in terms of our undergraduate students, in terms of our graduate students, and then we started offering the PhD program, the doctoral program, Doctor of Education, and that also has brought a whole new group of people who would have perhaps had their master's degree for a while, and is now, I'm sure our students here will speak to that, and they're now seeing an opportunity to do it again, a doctoral degree without having to leave your home. We just recently, I spoke to a student who started her undergrad at the Open Campus and her master's, and now she has a doctorate. So you can work from certificate level, diploma level, undergrad, wherever you are. The Open Campus will find a space for you and allow you to ladder up as you see fit. In addition to that, of course, we also offer the continuing and professional education courses, which are designed for persons perhaps already in their career, already in their job, and want perhaps a few, maybe a course or two just to allow them to maybe feel more confident in their position, or maybe an opportunity for promotion. So we also offer that type of program. So the response has been very satisfying for us at the St. Vincent site.
Ronnie, maybe you could tell us about some of the community outreach work that the Open Campus has been involved in.
Okay, so thank you, Teresa, and it's a pleasure to be on this program to talk about the business of the university, but also to connect in this way with our community. Well, as Mrs. Dalrymple said, the university has a mandate to be part of the development of each of these islands, and especially so the Open Campus, because, of course, as you know, Teresa, the outside of the 4 landed campuses, Mona, Cave Hill, Five Islands, St. Augustine, Cave Hill, the university has what we refer to as the online campus, which is the Open Campus, and we are spread across the English-speaking Caribbean, 16 to 17 countries, and we have just about 46, 47 sites across the region. So we are charged, so essentially we are the face of the University of the West Indies in these territories. Mm-hmm. And we are charged, in addition to our academic mandate, the University of the West Indies is a public university and therefore has a mandate to connect with our communities and to participate in development initiatives and programs and activities. And so for us in St. Vincent, we have had over the years a cadre of lectures, the main ones being the Independence Lecture, Emancipation, and from time to time we will have lecture series. So we've had those types of activities. But we have grown over the last decade, and we have added our literary fair, which started out with a bang in 2013, thereabouts. And for the first 3 years, we did some good work there. We had to take a break because of the limitation of our space. And now we are about to resume our literary fair in March 2023. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So apart from that, we also have we have partnered with Corporate St. Vincent. So for example, we are doing, this one is really for our students in terms of the connection we make with ECGC, the Mustique Charitable Trust, Couriers, etc. While those relationships are specific in that they provide financial assistance to our students, we do cherish those collaborations because invariably their staff come to the open campus for professional development as well. So we have made those kinds of connections, Teresa. Again, later on we could share a little bit more about our work in the community. We have prided ourselves in lifting the arts in St. Vincent. We have decided that the site where we are it has and will continue to be a site for the arts. And so we have made connections with the SVG drumming group. We have collaborated with the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Association of Writers, Artists, etc. That's Renee's and Brother Blazer involved in that, and a few others. So we have not just offered professional degrees and certificates and diplomas, but we have intended and been deliberate in connecting with our community in various ways.
Let's go back a little bit to the classes are actually held online. Are the lecturers different to those who actually work on campus, on site, or the classes are the same?
Well, yes, we do have a cadre of lecturers across the Caribbean. Some lecturers or tutors do teach on the main campuses, but you do find persons who within the open campus and outside of the open campus do teach as well. These are professional persons in their area. We do have a cadre of Vincentians as well who lecture through the open campus facilities. So yes, our tutors and lecturers are across the Caribbean and beyond the Caribbean. In fact, we do have one or two tutors who reside outside of the Caribbean. So we benefit from the expertise on the campuses, but we also benefit from the professionals within country.
Okay, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we want to talk about how does one get involved, how do you enroll, how do you become a student at the open campus of the university. We'll take our first break and come back in just a second.
Thinking of winning the lotto jackpot? Well, there is an easy way. Combo Play. Choose 4 numbers from 1 to 36. That's a combo 4 at a cost of $64. Match any 4 of the 5 numbers and win the lotto jackpot. There's Combo 6, where you purchase 6 numbers for only $12. Match any 5 of the 6 lotto numbers and hit the jackpot. How about Combo 7? That's a purchase of 7 lotto numbers for $42. Match any 5 of the 7 numbers and you will win the jackpot. There are also Combo 3, Combo 8, and Combo 9 lotto plays. Visit the NLA headquarters in Pauls Avenue or WhatsApp 495-6886 for more details. Lotto, you have to be in it to win it.
I am Dr. Gerald Thompson, an infectious disease specialist. I'm inviting you every week to join our program, Healthy Choices, Healthy Actions, a health program that you need to see.
welcome back. So, as promised in the first segment, how does one become a student at the Open Campus? What are the requirements? I suspect that various different courses will have different requirements, etc. So, how does one get to be a student at the Open Campus?
Well, Teresa, first of all, one has to have an idea of what he or she wants to pursue. And even if they don't, they could come into us and we will provide some sort of a guidance, academic guidance, and so on. We do that for our own students in the Open Campus, or potential students in the Open Campus, and we do that for those who are going off or who would want to go off to any of our campuses. So having decided what he or she wants to do, in the case of the Open Campus, our online, well, before we reach the online application, we follow the general UWI matriculation requirements. So generally, you need 5 subjects at CSEC, including math and English, and particularly if you're going on to do medicine, engineering, law, the university prefers you to do advanced studies, the 2 years at a community college. However, if you have your 5 CSEC, you can come to the Open Campus, although the preference is that you should do some 2 years of preparation through the community college, through a franchise program, or through the an associate degree or the regular advanced studies program. So you have your 5 CSEC, you want to do political science, you go on our website, which is www.open.uwi.edu. You will see a lot of stuff on the page, but you just need to go to the section, the little box that says apply now. You click that. It takes you to another page that asks you to apply online now. You click that. You create an account and you proceed to start your application. You give the university details, personal details, you give your academic history. So one needs to have his or her CSEC and CAPE documents or an associate degree. Or if you come in from another institution, you need to have transcript, etc. Or the transcript you will send to us later. So having completed that, you submit the application online. Within a week or 2, you should provide the university with required documents, which would include, well, our preference is to have a copy of your original and a copy of your birth certificate, your academic certificates, and if you've done any professional training between leaving school and coming into on the world of work and coming into the university, we invite you to give us a copy of that as well. Having submitted those, we upload them at the site, the registry takes the process over, and then you wait a week or 2, sometimes a little longer, on the university for an acceptance. Once you have that acceptance, you are ready to go, basically. The worry thereafter, between getting the acceptance letter and registration, is your financing. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that a little later. But that's in a nutshell what the process is.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say something? At the Open Campus.
Okay.
Oh, she's not hearing.
What about those? Debbie, you were saying something?
Oh, sorry, Teresa. What I said I wanted to just add to what Ronnie said is that we encourage you to apply to the Open Campus regardless to what you have for subjects. This is not to say that you don't need the 5 subjects and so on. But if you do not have 5 subjects and you're interested in coming to the Open Campus, learning something, you're not too sure, but you want to, do I have the qualifications? We say to students, apply anyway. So because when your credentials are assessed, you might be guided into doing a certificate. Maybe not quite having all of the credentials for a bachelor's degree. Or we might be guided into a diploma or into your undergrad. So we encourage everyone to apply who has any interest whatsoever in continuing their education, because we like to say we meet you where you're at the open campus. When you come in, you might start at a certificate, but with determination and with, drive, you can get yourself up to an undergraduate level. As I said, there was one lady who told me just the other day, she started at undergrad, went to graduate, and went up to doctoral. So you could also similarly start at a certificate and work your way up to an undergrad. So we don't want to discourage anyone from coming. We are University of the West Indies, but as Ronnie rightly said, we are the face of the university at the local level, but we're also the university at the local level. So we want to just encourage anyone who has any interest in continuing their education, because as you rightly said, opening doors to lifelong learning, opening doors to changes, opening doors to opportunity. So anyone can come and you'll be assessed and placed accordingly. I just wanted to say that so that people are not deterred if they don't have the 5 subjects to come in. I'm sure Mrs. Oliver would be able to explain that also a little bit more too.
Well, Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm Shara. Like that student you spoke about, Mrs. Dalrymple, I took a similar path where I started with the undergrad and went up to the master's level and now at the doctoral level. So when I applied, at first, as Mr. Daniel said, you can you may not be sure about what you want to do, and you can go in and look at the programs, evaluate and so on, and they will have advising and so forth. I received that. As a matter of fact, Mr. Daniel he advised me at this level, because I was like, you know what, I want to do a doctoral degree, but which one? At that time, they were offering 2, I think, 2 or 3. And I wasn't sure which one to pursue, whether higher education or school systems or even the TVET, I think it was. Yeah. And he's like, okay, let's look at what you have. What are your goals? And as I explained them, he said, I think the higher education one will suit you. And I have no regrets. So yes, they do accommodate you at any level. They meet you where you are and help to guide you through the process. So yes, that's true.
So tell us about your experience, starting from the undergrad level. Of course, you would have had the matriculation requirements, and how has your experience been, and how has this changed your life?
Okay, well, I anticipated a question like that, so I have a little bit, as an educator, you have to jot your points down just in case you miss anything, right? But my journey began in 2007. That was just a couple months after I gained employment. Of course, I had no finances, but I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. Again, I walked in, I asked them, what do you have? And there was a pamphlet, and they showed me the programs, and I went through. I said, okay, I can do this. This is something that is interesting. And then I recognized that the level I was teaching at that time, the students needed a lot of remediation. So I did the bachelor's in education, focusing on literacy studies. And it has really benefited me, like even up to today, because I am still teaching students who need remediation, and most of what I learned back then I can apply now. I'm even the literacy coordinator. So that these degrees help to propel you into different, maybe not always different careers, but a step in the career that you're in, a step higher. So in 2012, well, ever since I was younger, I had an idea. I'm like, you know what, by the time I'm age 30, I should have a doctoral degree. So I'm like, I planned it out. I had it planned. Of course, it did not go as planned. But I was determined that I should gain at each level. So I decided, you know what? As a professional, I should always be developing my skills. And as an educator, you need that, because as these students come, you recognize that they're not all the same. So you have to develop yourself in order to meet the needs of these students. So I went in again. What do you have for me? Miss Chance at the Open Campus can, attest to that. And I recognized that there was a master's of Arts in English Language, and I did the master's program, and I completed it. Again, like the literacy program that put me in a position to be a literacy coordinator, I am now the head of the Modern Languages and Arts department, you know, and being the head of that department has opened opportunities where I can influence change. So some of the things that you would have seen in your career, your teaching, you know, the pedagogy, you can now direct and guide teachers as to how we can solve some of these problems that we encounter in the classroom. And then one day I'm like, I can't stay at this level. I am always challenging myself, because ever since I learned about Bloom's taxonomy and the highest level of which is self-actualization, well, you know, theories say that nobody reaches there, but I don't think so. I'm willing to challenge that. So I said, okay, I am going to do something again. I can make a difference. And one day, I was sent to a workshop in the summer vacation. Nobody really likes to go to workshops in the summer vacation. You want to stay home with your children, right? But I was so happy that I went. And the wealth of knowledge that I learned at that workshop, I said, no, I can't keep that to myself. I have to investigate something. I have to write about something. I have to research about something. And then I went into Mr. Daniel asking about, what do you have? What do you have at the doctoral level? I got 3 options, and I'm like, all right, which do you think I should choose? And that year, like I think it was about 2018, I didn't enroll that year, but that's when I started the process, inquiring. And then in 2019, I enrolled as a student. You know, I'm telling you, the wealth of knowledge that I have gained throughout these degrees, they have made me like a better person, a critical thinker. I'm able to be more practical, and I just want to share what I have learned. And I think that is, you know, ultimately one of the goals of higher education, where you broaden your knowledge base, and then you don't keep it to yourself, of course, you share. So you know what's happening? I'm very excited tonight. I just submitted my thesis. Yeah, I look forward to that defense next year sometime soon. So it has really been a wonderful experience. Of course, it came with challenges, like personal challenges, where you had to, I had to balance home, being a wife, a mom of 3 children under the age of 10, and sitting on the administrative at school, the administration at school, and studying. You know, those came with challenges, of course. But as any other thing, and as an adult, you have to put on your big girl face and tackle them head on. So yes, a wonderful experience so far.
So what school are you at now?
I'm at one of the best secondary schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that's the intermediate high school.
Good for you. Good, wonderful. Well, good plug there for intermediate. And what before we take our next break, what motivates you?
That question is for me? Okay, what motivates me? Well, knowledge. I believe that you shouldn't be stagnant. It's dynamic, knowledge is dynamic, and you should move with the time. And as I think about where I want to be in the future, I haven't fully tied it down as yet, but I have an idea. I have to gain the knowledge. I have to implement it. And therefore, I have to start somewhere to get that process rolling.
Great. Okay, so one of the things you mentioned was that you didn't have any money when you started off. So when we come back from our second break, we're going to be talking about how you get those monies to do what you want to do, to pursue your dreams. We'll be back in just a moment.
Read, learn, children are the future, help them read, learn, grow. Only reading is the key, so help them read, learn, grow. Let's show them how much fun it is to read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part.
First and foremost, reading from so young is advantageous. Link with the teachers, working hand in hand is a must. Just 10 minutes of your child reading to you is a plus. Get fun books, make reading priority. When children read, they are able to learn, and the more they learn, the more they grow. So parents help the kids read, learn, grow. Reading is fun, kids have to know.
Read, learn, grow. The children are the future, help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to www.oecs.org/ELP.
Thinking of winning the lotto jackpot? Well, there is an easy way. Combo Play. Choose 4 numbers from 1 to 36. That's a combo 4 at a cost of $64. Match any 4 of the 5 numbers and win the lotto jackpot. There's Combo 6, where you purchase 6 numbers for only $12. Match any 5 of the 6 lotto numbers and hit the jackpot. How about Combo 7? That's a purchase of 7 lotto numbers for $42. Match any 5 of the 7 numbers and you will win the jackpot. There are also Combo 3, Combo 8, and Combo 9 lotto plays. Visit the NLA headquarters in Pauls Avenue or WhatsApp 495-6886 for more details. Lotto, you have to be in it to win it.
Welcome back. Before we took the break, we were talking about financing, and our special guest did say she had no money when she started. What are some of the financial options available for persons who wish to pursue an education? Because we do know that education does not come cheap. So what are some of the opportunities for financing that are available?
Well, unless you have a grandmother who left you a legacy, you're going to have to come up with the money yourself. And there are several options available. For example, there are the student loans done through, I think it's the NIS and the government, that's available for students. And I think there's a special grouping called the disadvantaged student, for loans for the disadvantaged students. So there's options there. We also recommend to our students to try to credit unions in terms of, student loans that are usually easy on the pocket, where they try to work out a proper, a nice payback plan, and allow you money to buy a laptop and so on. So the credit unions are very student friendly, and we have a good relationship going with the credit unions. And they also offer scholarships and bursaries through the credit unions as well, that we encourage our students to apply for. The government also offers tuition scholarships. Again, you apply, and we say to our students, you apply once, you apply twice, you apply until something happens for you. We also, however, offer a payment plan. So if you're going to be doing 2 courses, you do not have to come up with all of the money for the 2 courses one time. You can pay as you go. So we would usually have you have a discussion with you, and you can make your payments in 3 tranches. So there's a payment plan available. In addition to those, we also have the bursaries that's offered by the Mustic Charitable Trust, by the ECGC Foundation, and at some point we did have some bursaries from Careers as well. And just last year, we had the E.B. John bursary that is designed for persons who are interested in doing courses in the media. So there's lots of opportunities there for people to get assistance. However, in terms of making sure that you have your money, we would usually have people go and try to at least get some loans, and try to, balance, like Miss Oliver Stewart said, you have to balance your time, your finances, and so on to get it done. But we usually say to students to start.
Yes.
Start. Even if you can take just one course, you start. If you've taken 2 courses and the next semester you find, things are too tight, I can't go on, and you can ask for a deferment or a leave of absence. In other words, I can say the open campus is designed to assist this very type of person to be able to get a tertiary education. We are designed for that, so that you can go at your own pace. Right? So that you balance your money, your time, and go at your own pace. And Ron, you could probably speak about some of the international funders that we also have.
So, Teresa, apart from the local facilities, the university has a flagship scholarship that is called the Open Scholarship. We have not had it for the last year or two due to COVID and so on. But I rather suspect that the university would resume that shortly. But that scholarship is for persons entering the university from the colleges, but also for first-year UE students. It's very competitive because it takes in first-year students, it takes in students who are coming in from the university, from college. And what the university does, it tries to ensure that member countries that the scholarship is spread across member countries. So, for example, St. Vincent, 10 students or 15 students may apply from St. Vincent. What the university will do, because of the competitive nature, may just take the top 2 or the top 3. We have been fortunate in St. Vincent in that our students have done well, and every year, as far as I know, we have always had 1 or 2 from St. Vincent on that list of 70, 60-something students across the region. So that is very competitive. It's a full scholarship. It allows you to transfer from one campus to the other once you are an awardee of that scholarship. And you don't have to pay the university a cent if you get that. The criteria basically, of course, you must have a GPA of 3.6 and above. So that's the competitive nature of it. And you, in the application process, you have to write a 500-word essay detailing your area of study, why you have chosen the University of the West Indies, and what you intend to do, or how you intend to contribute to your society thereafter. And once you impress the panel of judges in Jamaica, then you are in line for selection. Apart from the Open Scholarship, we do have our alumni associations in North America in particular, the US and Canada. They offer bursaries for students, generally from your second year, and I think they used to do it for students in the final year, but I think they've changed that a little bit. You must have at least 10 courses left in your program, and again, that is very competitive, and that's a more detailed process as well. You have to write various pieces and so on. And once you are successful, you can easily add a 2,000 or 3,000 Canadian dollars or US to your final year to help ease the burden. For students going off to, say, K-Ville, there's this Sir Arthur Lewis Award. We encourage our students all the while to apply for that because it's for the OECS students, because generally the OECS students are at a disadvantage when going to K-Ville, in that the Barbadian students are generally, they're not so free anymore, but they don't pay half of what the students from the OECS pay. So the Sir Arthur Lewis Award is for OECS nationals, and again, you just have to have a good academic record, and you must show that you have been involved in community, etc. And the other campuses have other programs, financial programs, but I'll just stay here for a bit.
Okay, I think I had my microphone off. I was asking if the open scholarship is one scholarship across all of the open campuses. Is it just one award?
Oh, no. All the member countries. So you have 300-400 students applying for across the Caribbean, and what they will do, they will take the top applicants from each of these territories. So St. Vincent may have 10-15 applicants. They will, depending on the resources, they will take 3 or 4 from each island, or 1, depending on the particular year and the circumstance. But each member country, each member country would have on that list in any given year 1 or 2 students. So St. Vincent may have 2 students this year, next year we may have 1 based on the resources and the applicants, the number of applicants.
Okay. Has lack of financing been a hindrance and therefore an issue where financing one's education at open campus SVG is concerned?
Well, the thing is, the fact that we now have 700 plus students, it means that people are coming. That is not to say that finance is not a challenge. It always is a challenge. But what our students in particular are usually mature people with other commitments, other responsibilities that really have to juggle and balance how they're going to pay for their education. And the fact that our students, that we have grown, it means that people are able to access funding, but through the loans, through the government tuition scholarships, and people just take advantage of what the opportunities are. But those people who come and take payment plans, that's available. So if you're coming in and you're really strapped, you can ask for a payment plan where you don't have to come up with all the money at the same time. I do not want to belittle the fact that people are struggling and to find their way to pay for their education. But I find our people prioritize education and they make the sacrifice to come.
Okay, Shara, you have done the whole mile and more. You care to share how you have been able to finance your education?
Yes, I can share, definitely. Well, again, when I started in 2007, that was my first job, well, which I have now. I haven't had another job. But, and at that time, for 3 months when you just start, I wasn't paid as yet. But I decided that I will go to a financial institution. I always say, money's in the bank. So I went to a financial institution, and what I noticed is that they understand what is happening and they cater to us. So they're going to find ways to grab us, right? So I went there and I sat with a financial advisor. I like to talk to people who know more than me so that they can advise me. And the young man outlined what would happen. And I took a loan and I did the what do you call that again? I think it's you draw down, right? So every semester, you're allowed to draw down a certain amount, and then you can always go back and top it up. So by the time I was finished with UE for the first degree, probably like a year or so after, I was able to pay it off because I was now permanent without children and other responsibilities. But in 2012, when I did the master's, I took the same road because I realized, well, I have certain challenges, but I realized that I had to get it done. Money's in the bank again. I'm going for it. And I did the same process. I know of students who would have taken the student plan because it was, easier for them. And with this doctoral degree, of course, I applied for different scholarships. Maybe this program might help me to get maybe it might help me to get one for something else in the near future. But I keep applying, and even for bursaries at different financial institutions, I am not sure if, well, more than likely I didn't meet the requirements. Let's put it that way. I didn't meet the requirements. Not by grades though, I'm not too dull. But I didn't meet the requirements. So I tried my best to manage, save what I had to save, because remember I have a goal to achieve. So I saved as much as I can, and then I used some savings, and then I tapped into other resources. and paid out of pocket. All that to say, I got help, but just not from a financial institution. However, for this last semester, I had to go because it was so high, you know. But they're very accommodating. The institutions, well, for me, my experience, they're very much accommodating. Once you're permanent, they know you're going to pay it back. They see everything that happens in your account. So they know they're going to get their money, right? Yeah. And remember, you have a goal to achieve, so you have to make the sacrifices financially also.
Yeah, I find quite a lot of our students would tell you, when you ask them, how are you going to manage? They would tell you, I saved. Just as you're saying, you had a goal prior. A lot of our students save, and they would use up that, set savings to get them started. In the meantime, they're trying to get a loan, but they have that little cushion. But some other people struggle more than others. Yes. But for the most part, I keep saying the nature of our students, the nature of the student of the open campus, that is it's the maturity and the planning and being able to make sacrifice and to juggle things. I think that gives our student that extra edge. I'm biased, I know that totally. But we do give our students that edge. Yes.
Yeah. Teresa, what I didn't say, I mean, the environment is conducive for learning, for tertiary education. From the governmental level, from the university itself, because we do try our very best to, if we can't ourselves help in the payment plans and so on, then we point you in particular directions. I must say, though, there are Vincentians overseas, and I could say this, Ron Rose Island Scholars, the open campus students have been the prime beneficiaries of that scholarship, Island Scholars, and I must acknowledge Ron Rose and his team in the United States. Vincentian, who has worked in the United States and is now giving back through that scholarship. You don't hear much about Island Scholars, but they do help our students as well, mainly for UWI. So I just want to say that as well, that there are Vincentians who are doing their bit quietly and others who are, whom we know, So apart from corporate St. Vincent and the university itself, the government, there are private individuals who do assist through organized or formal platforms, but also through informal methods as well.
Yeah, and just to kind of acknowledge the overseas, our Vincentians overseas, when I mentioned the E.B. John bursary just now, that was being funded by a Toronto group, a group of people in Toronto who decided that to honor E.B. John's memory, they would create this bursary. And since then, of course, the Lions have come on board. And then we also have Professor H. Nigel Thomas, who encouraged us to start the poetry and non-fiction competition, and who sponsors that every year. For part of the prizes. So there are people overseas who want to give back to their country, and we are very happy to accommodate them at the open campus.
Okay, thanks. We'll take our final break.
Children are the future, help them read, learn, grow. Only reading is the key, so help them read, learn, grow. Let's show them how much fun it is to read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part.
First and foremost, reading from so young is advantageous. Link with the teachers, working hand in hand is a must. Just 10 minutes of your child reading to you is a plus. Get fun books, make reading priority. When children read, they are able to learn, and the more they learn, the more they grow. So parents help the kids read, learn, grow. Reading is fun, kids have to know.
Read, learn, grow. The children are the future, help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to www.oecs.org/ELP.
Welcome back. Well, we do know that we have outstanding academic records and performances. What happens beyond the academics? I know there's a lot of community activity, community involvement. What happens beyond the academics?
I know the open campus, the spirit of the open campus is about reaching into community and offering, like you said, the academics, the ability for formal education. However, we also, as I think Ronnie may have mentioned it before, we are also charged with developing our community. As a matter of fact, we say we are charged with empowering our community. So what we've done at the Open Campus St. Vincent is that whatever activities that we're doing, we try to involve the community in planning and so on, so that we have not only are we getting the skills and knowledge of people from the community into our events, but we're also allowing them to own the event. So we have an event, you've been part of the planning, you're going to want to come, you want to encourage people to come. So we have been doing that in kind of like directly involving members of the community into our work. We mentioned the literary fair, we mentioned the poetry and fiction competition. Our students have been very involved in like the soup kitchen with doing, Christmas packages, with forming their own NGOs. Over the years, we've also been involved in staff in reaching out to some of the like say the Bread of Life community and so on, in giving directly. But I think one of the strengths of our campus is that we allow for the upliftment of the national discourse, for want of a better word. So in our lectures, we encourage people to give their own opinions. We respect people. We say you don't have to have a degree to be able to make a contribution. So we want our open campus to be that place where it's a safe space for everyone, because we do believe everyone has something to offer, and we allow them the opportunity to do so. And by so doing, we are growing our community, we are empowering our community. That basically, I think, is the philosophy, because the university has got to be more than you get a degree and you hope you get first class honors. It has to be where people, the community, sees what's there on that building, that's part of who we are as Vincentians, and to take pride in what we do. Ronnie knows that we often say at our campus, everything is marketing. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So you have to make sure it's good, so people want to be part of who you are. And that's what I hope that we are portraying to our community. Ronnie, I don't know if you have anything else.
Well, I don't think we could add anything to that, but yeah, Teresa, I think we have, there has been a sort of a transformation over the last decade or so, and I think that has happened precisely because we have involved members of our community in all of our activities. So let me give you, it's not a joke, it's serious business, but I don't know if you're aware, Teresa, you're a media practitioner, you're a veteran. But one of our good friends, he's always at our lectures, and he wrote the Vice Chancellor a year and a half ago, "Why are you not opening up that building?"
Yes.
And then he wrote a second letter. And I say that to say that is how connected and the expectation of the community. When our dear brother wrote the Vice Chancellor to ask, but why are you not opening up that building? What is the problem? So that is the sort of a connection we have, so much so that a private citizen could write the Vice Chancellor, breaking all protocols to say, open the building, And we laughed in our corridors, in our office spaces.
Ronnie,
Hey?
why was the building not being opened?
You walked right into that one, Ronnie.
I open a can of worms. That will, my dear Teresa, that will take another discussion. But we are back in our building as of
There were some
August
matters
15th.
to be completed, and they've now been completed, and we're back in the building. So let's just say we are very grateful to be there, so that we can continue
Lovely
our work
building,
and have the space. Yes.
But the point is that the community expects a lot from the open campus.
Right.
We have a lot of space to do a lot of community activities, and I think there is that anticipation, that expectation. I think we feel it and see it, and I think we are ready to engage the community in a deeper way.
Right.
Okay, so as we wind our program down, two things. I want to ask Shara to give some words of encouragement, because I'm really impressed with this young lady who has come all the way up to this particular level and has invested so much in herself. What advice she would give to somebody who might be looking now and wanting to do the same thing? And also Ronnie or Debbie to say what's happening with the UWI for the next semester, the next year. What's happening? Where do we go?
Thank you. Higher education is the way to go. You should not be satisfied with minor things. You should always try to improve who you are personally and professionally. I mean, if you are to contribute to society and of course the economy, you must elevate yourselves. And as one of the panelists said earlier, you just need to start. You may not have it all covered. I didn't have it all covered. I still do not have it all covered. But make a start. And that start will propel you to do something else, something further. And, so that you can make a difference. Be goal-oriented. Have a purpose and walk towards it. Make tiny steps daily, and that's how I cope. I make tiny steps daily, and I document them well on my status so that people know, okay, I achieved these or I didn't. And the next day I pick it up and go again. Each of you out there, you can make tiny steps. Don't be satisfied, ever be satisfied at being mediocre. Always push yourself as far as you can go.
Great, good advice.
That's exactly what we were saying too, is that you start and you start where you're at.
Yeah.
Right, just wherever you are, you come in, you tell us where you're at, what your qualifications are, or lack of, because some people are very intimidated about coming when they figure they don't have the 5 subjects, don't have English, don't have math. But there are preparations in the open campus to allow you to get to the level of math that you need, or allow you to get to the level of English that you need. So you come in and we find where you can fit. Going forward, as we are anticipating the fact that we have more space, we were so anxious to get back to our building, because we had started, with quite a momentum, and then suddenly we were, shifted over into the smaller space and couldn't do a lot. So we want to start back in January with a recognition of graduate ceremony that we have not had for the last 2 years. 2 years, 3 years, 2 years. So 3 years. So we're going to have that in January, where we're going to have the students who may not have had the opportunity to do the virtual graduation, or for whatever reason want to participate, so that their family and so on could see them walk across the stage and get that achievement, because very often it's a family achievement. Would you not say, Sharon? It's a family achievement, because everybody has to make sacrifice, and the pride that we see there when those families come. So we want the recognition of graduate ceremony, and like I said, the literary fair next year as well. But we also want to see if we can offer some additional short courses, designed particularly for the Vincentian populace, because we try to see what the needs are so that we can fit those needs. In addition to that, of course, we have the continuing professional education courses that comes from Center, that comes from the UE itself, but we also want to offer things like art and music and learning about the computers. I don't have the proper titles yet, but we have the areas in mind. So we want to do some of that kind of a work. We had a series called lecture series about international affairs, issues in international affairs, thank you, Ronnie, that we had not had for so long. So we want to bring that back. We are part of the work with the Garifuna Foundation to do the international conferences, and we are going to be part of that again this year. So we are very excited. There's a lot happening. And at the higher level, of course, the university is constantly looking at the programs they offer, evaluating, revamping, and offering, so that we anticipate more programs to come, more at the doctoral level and at the master's level, because that is just continuing to grow. We're still a baby campus in a sense. So we are going to be, moving forward. Ronnie, I don't know if I missed anything or you want to add.
Well, Teresa, I would just say it's an exciting time for us and hopefully for our students and the community. As I told you, there's an expectation that we have to do more and be more to our society, and that is precisely what we're going to do. The first quarter is packed already, as Mrs. Dalrymple said, but we are going to facilitate some more national discussion. I'm looking forward to some collaborations that are in the mix. I can't say right now.
The seismic people.
Well, I could say the seismic unit we are collaborating with to bring off a conference in March. Then we want to do a post-budget panel. So we are finding things to do, and hopefully now that we have upped the technology a little bit at the campus, we will be able to bring professionals from within the UE family, at home and abroad, to be a part of these discussions and conversations. So it's an exciting quarter and a year ahead for UWI, and certainly for the Open Campus.
Thank you very much. Exciting times ahead. Thank you for taking the time. Head of the Open Campus, Deborah Dalrymple, Marketing Assistant, Ronnie Daniel, and of course our star student, Shara Oliver Stewart. All the best to you, and keep aiming for the stars. I like what you're doing, and congratulations. See you again next week, Wednesday at the same time, 6 p.m. for another edition of Round Table Talk. So glad that you could join us for this evening's talk. Have a great Wednesday evening. Good evening.